Good morning. I know I'm talking to a room full of positive people who never have bad days, right? Bull poo. I'm talking to a room full of human beings who sometimes face deep pain. I myself have had times when I was so disenchanted with life that when I woke up in the morning, before I even opened my eyes, I just thought, not again. I can't face another day of this pain. But in 2001, I cared for my dearest friend as she died of stomach cancer at the age of 30. She was so in love with life. One day I stood beside her and held her hand in the hospital while they changed that ghastly wound. And she looked up at me and rather impishly said, "I can't sleep. Talk to me about sociolinguistics." I was like, "You did not just treat my life's passion as an alternative to Unisom." But she did. I just grinned and said, "Why don't I tell you a poem instead?" And I shared with her this one by E. E. Cummings. I thank you, God, for most this amazing day, for the leaping greenly spirits of trees and the blue true dream of sky, and for everything which is natural, which is infinite, which is yes. I who have died am alive again today. And this is the sun's birthday. This is the birthday of life and love and wings and of the great gay happening illimitably earth. How can tasting, touching, breathing, any, lifted from the know of all nothing, human merely being, doubt unimaginable you? Now the eyes of my eyes are open, and now the ears of my ears awake. And as I came to the end, she had closed her eyes, and I thought she had fallen asleep. But as I spoke those last words, her eyes popped open and she said, "Again, again." I learned from Diane that there is no such thing as a bad day. Every day I wake up is a good day. And we can find ways to inject joy into even the darkest times. Another day when she could still walk, we dressed her up in overalls. We took all her fluids and her tubes and we tucked them away in the recesses of her clothes. We stuck her in a wheelchair and snuck her out of the hospital. I felt like I was robbing a bank. We just drove 5 minutes to a friend's house where we sat down on the couch and had a popsicle, laughing about our little crime spree. It was our last adventure. But we seized that day and we found a way to infuse it with joy. She was so in love with life, and I thought to myself about all the people upon whom life seems to be wasted because they are not in love with it. People who can talk so carelessly of killing time. And I resolved that I would never again speak of killing time because time is just another word for life, and it does not come to us in an infinite supply. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, what will you decide to do even if you are in pain? Will you laugh? Will you love? Will you sneak out of the hospital to have a popsicle on the couch? If I could have just one prayer for all of us, it's this: that every morning when we wake up, our eyes would pop open, and with all the enthusiasm of my friend, we would say, again, again.